I'm the founder, Chief Creative Officer of Storyland Studios, and I'm honored and humbled to be here and to introduce you to the CEO of Nateland, Felix Bargatze. Come on in.
How's everybody doing? Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate the interest. That's fantastic. We are super excited to be here. It's my first time at IAPA. It's quite the convention. Dr. Pepper, Dippin' Dots. In case you haven't figured that out. Yeah, very good, very good. Really excited to be working with Mel's team at Storyland. Some of you know the story behind Nate. His first job was Opryland, sweeping the steps. Then he moved to, apparently you could drop your pets off there all day long, so he was like a pet keeper. All kinds of weird things, and then they crushed his soul in 1997 when they closed it. He got very mad about it, vowed revenge, and here we are. We're bringing something back to Nashville, and we're really, really excited to be designing that something with Storyland. So appreciate it, man. Yeah, thank you.
I am stand-up comedian Nate Bargatze. Great to meet you, all of you at IAPA. I bet it stands for something. And I think amusement's in there. I didn't park. I didn't, the eyes throwing me, but I'll figure it out. I just want to let you know we are starting a theme park. I am starting it, and I've partnered with Storyland to help us build it, because guess what? I'm a comedian that doesn't know how to build a theme park, but I do know I want a place where families and friends can come to and ride all the rides, and that's what we call Nateland. Very excited about this. I look forward to hopefully coming to many of these meetings and learning what IAPA stands for.
Well, again, honored to be here to represent the creative team and the feasibility team that's been on this. Really had no canned presentation pitch for you, other than to say that we've been in feasibility, pre-concept, blue sky mode. It's been a joy and a journey to kind of try to get into the big brain that's behind those big, purportedly dumb eyes of Nate. But happy to answer whatever questions you throw at us. If not, I'll just replay that video a couple of dozen times. So, fire away.
So, when working with a comedian, we know that parks are big on IP. How is it hard to take his IP and turn it into, stuff for parks?
Yeah, I think great question there. One of the great things is it's not your traditional IP, right? I think we're going beyond a specific IP to really be at the formative stages of a brand that, at its simplicity, is a brand that unites us rather than divides people, that unites generations, cultures. I've loved again understanding what's behind those eyes of Nate, the way he sees the world, right? The beauty in simple things, and really that's a brand that I think is going to go certainly beyond a theme park, right? But maybe Felix, you can give us a sense of how that's getting rolled out.
Yeah, that's a my own. There we go. It's a good question. This is going to take several years to develop. We have a game show coming out in February on ABC. We have a movie with Sony TriStar coming out in March. We have an animated contract with Netflix. We have several things going on that will not only take what Mel was talking about, but produce IP that we can factor into the park. So I think it's coming.
Yeah, great question. I wish we just had plug and play IPs that we could just bring to life. But yes, sir. Oh.
So I'm very curious. How is this project sort of pitched to you guys, and what's the degree of freedom you guys have been given with considering that again the IP is just an individual.
Well, quick answer is friend of a friend in a relationship, I think, is the short answer of how we've become engaged with the project. And that friend happens to be an ongoing client partner of ours, Dan Cathy. Humbly calls himself Chicken Man Dan. Been part of the team out there in Trilith. If you haven't been to Trilith, next time you're flying through ATL Airport, can't recommend it enough. But he's about ready to open a $300 million entertainment center called Trilith Live, which is designed to be kind of the down payment on a vision of a larger ecosystem of creativity in Atlanta. And in terms of the creative box, I think we've been given a fairly large canvas to paint on. You know, can you tell us when we're kind of going out coloring outside the lines?
Not at all. We want. How about now?
Why don't you come on? I know you hate the stage.
Go ahead.
I was a partner at KPMG before I moved over to Nateland. Nate and I have known each other for 10 years. Major projects advisory is something that I specialized in. I was on the advisory side. So know how to put these big projects together. Started looking at different firms to begin the marketing and feasibility component with. Reached out to some people that we knew. Storyland kept coming up. Interviewed several different firms. They're the ones that culturally fit the most with us and kind of got the vision, understand how we like to operate, understand the nostalgia and the family component of what we do at Nateland. Our tagline's good, clean, funny. We are for the masses. We're not political, language, politics. We stay clear of all of that stuff. So the fit was natural. The fit felt good. We've given these guys a blank page, like, go build us the best thing we can do. So.
Hi, this is fun. I realize you're in development now and blue sky and all that. Did you have a size of a park in mind, like a dozen rides, 20 rides, 25 rides to open up with, you know, the size of the park and the mix of the rides? Are you going for younger children, families, thrill rides? What's been the original ideas you've had so far?
You know, for us, we wanted it to be substantial, right? A lot of the data out there suggests that Nashville can handle something of size. But we also wanted it to be fit for purpose, not build just for build's sake. We want everything, you know, our comedy and the movies and the game shows and the things that we make are not made for kids, but they're family friendly. You don't have to hit pause. You don't have to be embarrassed about what we want. We want to display that at the park as well. So there'll be stuff for everyone. There'll be fun stuff. There'll be thrill-seeking stuff. We have a couple of sites in mind, and we're going to try to kind of fit for purpose to that site. So that's where we're at with that. We don't want to say too much.
I will add that John Robinette's part of our team. He's led economics feasibility previously with AECOM. Worked on everything from the international TEA attractions survey and report in partnership with him in the past. And again, we're looking at a market that is frankly one of the big black holes in terms of a regional theme park market in the U.S. As many of you know, Opryland USA was a beloved park. I think outgrew Dollywood before it closed and got turned into an outlet mall. The market, the residential market, is multiple X size. You know, the size that it used to be, mostly of former Californians, like our very own Tyler, our California refugees that have moved out to Nashville. But there's a lot of families out there that would love something of critical mass to make some memories together. So we're optimistic about critical mass and the right size. And of course, the standard master planning process of not just focusing on creative and blue sky, but also working with feasibility, throughput, sizing, capacity. We're in that entertainment unit per hour mode, dining capacity, all that fun stuff. I love math too.
Can you give us some idea on funding or like what you guys are planning? Like, this seems like the most blue sky thing I've heard in a while, so I'm looking forward to hearing some details. Or is this like a 10-year project? Is this like next year? I saw something online about you guys were looking at cruises as well. or mini parks. What concrete are we looking at right now? It sounds great, and it's great for the Nashville economy. Just wondering if you can give us a little more something.
Yeah, we have a cruise that's sold out in February with Norwegian, partnering with those folks. We're not necessarily looking to do a bunch of cruises, but that's part of the experiences division. We've got major markets like any brand. Those major markets are interested in kind of smaller type projects, and we're open to what that might look like. But the vast majority of our focus is the big project in Nashville.
Just real quick on the land, can you say how large a park we're talking in terms of acres, that type of thing? And also, how will it be operated? Will you operate the park? Will you license someone to operate the park? And will there be merch involved and that type of thing?
Details on that to come. We've got a site picked out. We're going to keep that close to the vest. We have some ideas of how we want to operate it, but it's a little premature for those details.
It's definitely fully understandable that this project is in the very early stages of development. At the same time, I am curious to know, like, if there is a very basic concrete foundation for what you generally want the park to be. Like, would you want it to be like a family entertainment center, like something that has a lot of arcade games, a few rides, or something like Icon Park down the street that has maybe a couple of high-quality restaurants along with an arcade and some rides, or something like Opryland used to be, which is mainly rides? Or is that also something that you still want to build on and see how the project takes shape and what it ends up being?
Quick answer is, I would say we are looking to create a new typology of park. I would point out that even Opryland back in the day was its own genre. They bragged about not just being a theme park, but a show park, and that idea of being an incubator for the next generation of live entertainers, whether it's comedians, musicians, magicians like Nate's dad, I think is all part of the mix. So we're looking at multiple scenarios from an operations, paywall, all that kind of good stuff. So we're excited to bring in the brain damage that we've incurred around the world and kind of coming up with something completely unique and new, of size though.
So we talked a lot about like the different rides that might be there. Do you have like a anchoring attraction that will kind of be like the centerpiece of the park, or is it more kind of just like broad and that's kind of like what you're going to be bringing in?
Yes, there will be e-tickets.
Great.
You've got to be of a certain age to even know what that's. That's okay.
I'm wondering if you can compare yourself to Dollywood for a second. Is this going to be an alcohol-free environment when you say family-friendly?
TBD.
Is there sort of like a marketing is there like already a set in stone marketing strategy for Nateland, or is that still currently being developed as ideas for the park are being fleshed out?
Currently being developed still. I know slang language. Can they get a mic over?
Similar to when Dolly is at Dollywood and they do a whole parade, when Nate's at Nateland, will you guys do a whole parade and show them around the park and everybody waves and laughs, you know?
Sounds like a great idea. I'll teach Nate the princess wave.
It's really funny. I'm waiting for the questions about, how many toilets there will be and what color they will be. Experiential development takes a really long time. If you think about a time frame, double it, triple it, quadruple it to when you're creating something of great value and lasting, enduring. I want to come back to one of the questions that we had, which is about how do you create an experience about an individual. Couple of things. We do actually have a fantastic example of that in Dollywood, so I'm really glad that somebody brought that up, because that park is absolutely beloved in that region of the USA, but it's not every brand, ride, experience, restaurant has got Dolly, plastered all over it. It's about her legacy. It's about the kind of connections, community experiences, stories, most of all that she's passionate about, and she wants to pass on in her legacy. So if you wanted to think about kind of a cross-section between Dollywood, Mr. Beast, Dude Perfect, for those of you who know those kind of IPs, the creative task that Mel and the team have got is to enter into Nate's world and actually imagine what those spaces would look like. So it's really exciting. There's no code for it. There's no playbook. There is kind of a legacy and a history in the theme park industry, right from Main Street, Missouri, all the way through to the original Disneyland. But we're doing something that's about a creator, an individual creator, rather than a corporate IP, which has got 50, 60 years of laydown. So bear with us while we work that out.
Thanks, Ben. Ben Thompson, CEO of Storyland Locations. One or two more questions before we're out of time.
Mine's pretty quick, but what is Nate's legacy?
That's the heavy lifting creatively to do, for sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you, having known him for 10 years, he was a, must-see TV, Thursday night, friends, can't wait to go to the movies, hung out at malls. So, there's a time when you weren't, a lot seems to be built for you as an individual to have your head buried in your phone or your iPad. There's stuff that the male in the relationship watches, there's stuff in the female in the relationship watches. There's not a lot of stuff to bring folks together and create those memories, those emotional souvenirs that we like to talk about. So it's a big component of that, just bringing things back to a simpler time where you weren't buried into a digital device and you were actually experiencing life and the people that you love around you and having a good time. So that's a piece of the legacy part for sure. And having something that you can walk through and experience that and capture that live, if you will, is a pretty important part of what he wants to do.
Yeah, as a dad of 8, anything I can find or do to get my kids' eyes off of screens and to lock in with me as a dad, those moments that you're giving that gift of presence with a C instead of a T. Those moments is really a lot of what is about high touch over high tech, and really reach out for families rather than kind of the 1%ers. One more. Out of 10.
Hello there. It's a pleasure to meet y'all. This is a question. I want to get into the creative industry. What advice do you have?
Well, I would start by going to the other end of the hall, go over to TEA, Themed Entertainment Association Central. I've got to give the plug as a board member, but we've got this great little support group for those of us that have dedicated our lives to creating in an industry where generally you don't get title credits at the end. You got to do 18 hours a day to get babies born and things done and time away from the family. But if you're into that sort of craziness, Themed Entertainment Association, Next Gen Initiative, some of the programs that we've helped start at some of the different schools, some of the multidisciplinary programs. Great place to be. Side note, we've got the TEA Masters, one of which Bonnie Sinclair is sitting right over here. Raise your hand, Bonnie. And Scott, her husband, who designed a good chunk of Epic Universe. We're all going over to their creation and party tonight with the TEA at Epic Universe. So that's a great place to start. We've got a lot of those interviews captured on YouTube, the TEA Masters. And then I also co-host a podcast with Skipper Freddie back there called the Themed Attraction Podcast, where we really try to highlight some of the different disciplines. We've got artists, architects, artisans, but we've got, the folks like Felix that, owner of one of the biggest accounting firms. So we say it takes left, right, and center brains to kind of create this craziness. So Again, thanks so much. We're so honored and humbled that you guys have joined us.
We'll stick around.